Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. Today we are discussing the types of communication and specifically the four that you see on your screen. Formal, which contains written and verbal, as well as informal, which also contains written and verbal. Let's get started. So in certain texts, this topic will be known as communication methods. Now I'm telling you that you should be studying communication methods or types of communication, whatever text that you're reading. But these four you should definitely study because these are important when it comes to the PMP exam. And we are also going to look at some of these sample questions of sorts. I won't say multiple choice questions, but one-liner questions that are going to help you understand what kind of questions you can expect in the exam as far as this topic is concerned. So there are several ways to get your message across. The four that you need to know from PMP are, let's look at them in the other slide. All right, and before we look at all four of them, let me remind you, if you're into reading articles, then head over to the description because first link in the description will take you to the related article on this topic over at our official website, pmclounge.com. So do check that out. Don't miss that. Also, second link will take you to the entire playlist of every single video that we have done on communications management knowledge area. So two very important links. Do check them out. Let's understand the first type of communication, which is formal written. So some of the examples of this are your project charter, your project management plans. That means all your project documents, the artifacts, they are actually formal written communication. Legal documents, contracts, these are all formal written. Informal written, the examples include emails, memo, sticky notes. Now, how many of you communicate with your spouses by sticking a sticky note on the refrigerator? Let me know in the comments. If you think it's too personal, it's okay. You can keep it with you. But this is an informal written type of communication. Now, I am more interested in this example, which says emails. Do you think email can also be a formal written form of communication? Let me know in the comments. Of course, it is informal written in most cases, but do you think can you draft an email and send it across and ask it to be considered a formal written form of communication? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Formal verbal. So examples include presentations, prepared speeches. So you see all those politicians making speeches that they have already prepared. Those are formal verbal type of communication. Then you have informal verbal. The examples include meetings, phone calls, conversations, planning sessions. So when you're hanging around with your project team, planning something, you are basically doing an informal verbal type of communication. A quick reminder before we move ahead, head over to pmclounge.com/pm101, your gateway to the world of project management, a free 1.5 hour project management crash course. All right, two quick points before we see some examples. Wherever you see contract, client, or the sponsor, the project sponsor, a rule of the thumb that you can remember is that communication regarding these three will always be formal, be it formal verbal, be it formal written. But wherever you see contract, wherever you see a client or a sponsor, the communication is going to be formal communication. Now, you also need to note that meetings are always informal. So no matter what you're discussing, no matter how important the topic of the meeting is, a meeting is always considered informal verbal type of communication. All right, let's look into some examples and you can also try to solve them. You can also try to guess in the comments which ones are formal and which ones are informal. All right, so you prepare an RFP, which is request for proposals, for vendors to determine which one of them would get a chance to contract a new project with your organization. So you're basically preparing a document, a project artifact known as RFP. So what kind of communication are you going to be using here? This is obviously formal written. We've already talked about how project artifacts come under formal written type of communication. So you call up your supplier to check if they are on track to ship the items you have procured. What do you think? You're basically calling them up and checking where they are. This is informal verbal. You drop a voicemail to your test manager seeking the project status. Obviously, this is also informal verbal. You're just giving them a call, right? You start a Slack channel for your project. What do you think? This is informal written. The Slack channel that is going to be used here is an informal type of communication. You start a Skype group chat for your project. What do you think? Obviously, this is also informal written. You create a WhatsApp group for your project. This is also informal written. You work with the business analyst to prepare the requirement spec. Now, the requirement specification document is again a project artifact, which means this will be formal written type of communication. You present the project milestone status to the executive management. So you're giving a presentation here about the milestone status of your project. What do you think? Is this informal verbal or is this formal verbal? Well, we looked into the examples and presentations are a form of formal verbal type of communication. So let me know in the comments which of the four are you best at? And also, as a project manager, what do you think? Which one should you be best at? Or should you be equally good in all four types of communication? Let me know in the comments. So I hope you got value out of this video and we're able to understand the topic. Smash that like button. It keeps us motivated and helps us create more free videos like this one. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon if you haven't done so already. Also, don't forget to check out our website, pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource. Thank you.